For parents, most would probably agree that they would do anything to make their child feel better if they're sick.
That's right. For a Flint family, it is especially difficult because their son has an illness that has no cure, and they don't know what's causing it.
ABC 12's Mark Bullion sits down with the family who says all they want is for him to be happy and healthy.
At first glance, Gibson Tanner looks like your average 7-year-old. Pretty happy-go-lucky, right? But looks can be deceiving. Back in March of this year, Gibson developed a sinus infection along with a bit of a sore throat.
A couple of days later, he woke up and was just displaying all kinds of OCD-type symptoms, tics, rituals, anxiety, extreme anxiety, to the point where you could see sheer terror in his eyes.
Incidents like these, unexplained, erratic behavior. John and Amanda were concerned.
It's not like something traumatic happened. Nothing out of the ordinary stood out to us.
They began researching, and one disease kept popping up over and over, and that's called PANS disease, which stands for Pediatric Acute Onset Neuropsychiatric Syndrome. It's where an unknown trigger can infect the body's immune system, producing obsessive-compulsive disorder-like behaviors and/or tic disorders.
We didn't know what was going on. Our family doctor at the time wouldn't see us for 2 weeks. We called U of M Mental Health. They said, here's the emergency mental health line, but we can't see you for 6 weeks.
That was until Gibson's parents took him to see a specialist in New Jersey, only one of a handful nationwide that deals with PANS disease. Sure enough, Gibson was formally diagnosed with the rare disease earlier this spring.
It's something I hope no parent has to go through. To see your child going through these things and begging you to make it stop.
The Tanners say Gibson's bouts of fear and panic come and go at a moment's notice with no apparent trigger. But what's scary for them is knowing that Gibson is aware of his behaviors.
Sometimes my compulsions make me feel like I'm gonna die soon.
The night that he thought her and I were conspiring to kill him. How do you explain to your kid that, you're trying to help him and you're what he's afraid of?
Gibson is currently going through a round of antibiotics to see if the medication will have any benefits.
We're on our first one right now and seeing some good things from it. In some ways not, in some ways he's even regressed.
Gibson's parents say his erratic behavior can last anywhere from a couple of minutes to hours on end.
Where the majority of our days are rough to bad and with points of good times, like right now is fairly decent, fairly okay.
But what the Tanners want is for every day to be decent and okay, so that Gibson can live a normal and happy life.
If you ask almost any 7-year-old in the world, what do you want more than anything? Most of them wouldn't say, for me to get better.
And Mark tells us currently there is no cure for PANS disease. At this point, John and Amanda do not know if Gibson will have PANS for the rest of his life. They say right now they take things one day at a time. The Tanners have set up a GoFundMe to help offset some of Gibson's medical expenses. We've included a link with this story on abc12.com.